Guys, welcome to another episode of Rennch. On today's show, we are going to continue to make progress on the suspension of the Blasphemy build. Now, if you've been following along with this build, I've been doing a ton on it over the last few weeks, trying to get this thing ready for SEMA. I'm not sure if it'll happen. I'm still gonna try. On the last episode, I got my radiators back and they are welded and now polished and ready to go on the car. I didn't go crazy with the polishing. I mean, they're radiators. So this isn't a concours car. It's more of a badass, let's go fast kind of car. Now then, if you haven't already, please follow my Instagram account at Rennch _Rennch_. I've been trying to get the Rennch without the underscores, but the person won't respond to me. Follow me if you would be so kind. And also, a little bit of housekeeping. If you have a business where you would like to reach my audience, which is now 27,000 Porsche and non-Porsche fans, but mostly car people and mostly car guys, 96.5% guys. If you have a business that you want to reach that audience, my audience, DM me on Instagram and let's talk about doing some advertising on the channel. As I've been going through all the suspension, I've been cleaning all the parts, and some of the stuff hasn't been touched in 25 years, so it's significantly corroded. And I'm polishing and scraping and sanding and doing my best. I did kind of rebuild one of the front struts. I'm gonna take you guys through the rebuild of the other strut, and we're gonna actually put some longer wheel studs in there as well. Speaking of wheels, I don't have wheels yet for the car. They've been delayed. They were coming from overseas, and right now I don't have wheels for this build. I don't know if I'll have wheels. It could be the thing that prevents me from getting to SEMA this year, but I'm still gonna keep rocking like I have wheels. My goal for this episode is to get the car on its suspension and stick my old race wheels on there just so we can see what it looks like when it's sitting on the ground. But from my mouth to God's ears, so let's see if I can actually make that kind of progress. Let's go. So my currently messy bench contains this strut, which I've already mostly cleaned up. It looks pretty good, pretty polished up. One of the main things I had to do though is replace the studs.
Hey, Goose, you big stud!
That's me, honey.
Take me to bed or lose me forever.
Show me the way home, honey.
In the hub for some longer ones. I want to be able to have a little bit of flexibility in spacers if I need them. So I reached out to Rennch. Rennch has been like the ultimate awesome sponsor of this build, and they make so much stuff that a lot of us don't even know they make, including wheel studs. I got some 80mm studs for the back. I may actually end up using these on the front, but I'm not sure. These are 66mm studs I put in there now, and you can see the difference between what was there, which went that far, and what is in there now. These things are going to allow a little bit of flexibility to put a wheel spacer if I need to. If somebody happens to come up with a set of wheels for me for SEMA, and I happen to need to move them in and out because of the offsets, that's why I decided to put these longer studs in. The other thing I did, which I haven't talked much about, but because it was a race car, it has so much one-off custom trickery on it. These are the top part of the struts. These are all completely custom fashioned. They go with the camber plates that I've already installed on the car. And then these are the hats on top that I've polished up. It all looks fantastic. These are these lovely offset spacers, and they go on the top and bottom of this, and then on the top of the strut itself. They just look so good and so trick, and I can't wait to install them. In the meantime, I'm gonna pull this bad boy apart, get the studs out, and put the new ones in. So this is just a cinch nut that goes on with an Allen bolt. It's a pretty clever piece of kit, actually. And then the hub just slides off. You got a needle bearing. I've got a bunch of water in here from me cleaning the thing out the other day. Gonna try to clean the face of this. I just did one. So what I like to do with these is I put a little bit of lube on the stud. I put a washer to protect the hub, and then you throw a lug nut on. I kind of tap it a little bit just to seat it. You grab your impact and pull it in. I don't know if you can see this. All right, there you go. Then you're in. Repeat 4 more times. All right, I'm re-lubing my bearings here and really trying to force the grease down in here. I don't feel like taking that seal off because I'm worried I'm going to bend it. This isn't really the Rebuilding Porsche Hubs channel, so I'm not going to get too into the weeds about this, but just know that I'm rebuilding all of these things as I come across them. Just realized I put the wrong spring on the other one. So I got to respring it. But this one's done. And I'm stoked because it looks awesome. All right, that was a very successful day. I got the entire front suspension bolted on. Looks amazeballs. I also did a couple things where I used a plumb bob to start measuring for some offsets for some custom wheels. So I reached out on Instagram, again, that you should be following, and said, does anybody make custom wheels? So I had a few suggestions, and I've got a company right now in England that is working with me, I hope, to try to make some custom wheels. Will they get done in time? I have no idea, but I'm still striving to make this deadline. In the meantime, I have to now repeat what I just did in the front with the rear. I've got these big, chunky aluminum trailing arms that I sandblasted. There's sand all over the place that I've got to get out. One pretty interesting thing is I went to replace the studs in this hub, and they're welded. Again, this was a race car. I don't know if you can see this, but these studs are welded onto the hub itself. So hopefully it works. I have longer studs, and if I need them, I'm gonna have to pull this hub and like Dremel and do all kinds of stuff, or just replace the entire hub. What's up there, Daddy Longlegs? You gotta go, bro. You gotta go. Anyway, I'm going to spare you me cleaning up all this stuff and do that, put my headphones on for a little while and get these things dialed in, and then I will circle back with you guys in a few minutes. All right, dudes, here we are. Just about to rebuild my rear trailing arms. I did pick up some actual muriatic acid, and man, it really does make a really fast difference in stripping the zinc. Here are all the bits of the rear swing arms, all getting nice and refurbed. So I'm at the point now where I'm just going to rebuild these bad boys, put some nice fresh grease in here, get these bearings all packed in, and then begin the process of getting them on the car after I blew these nuts and bolts, which are still working. You can still see the acid doing acidy things over here. So let's go. All right, guys, well, that was an absolute and utter butt ton of work. And by the way, butt ton, very technical term. You don't have to concern yourself with it. I'm a professional. Here's the good news. I have a beautiful rear suspension. Brand new refurbished swing arms. My coilovers look amazing, and the only thing left to do is now bolt them on the car. By the way, if by the end of this episode I can actually get this car down on my old race wheels, that would be like a mind-boggling awesome win. And let's be honest, wouldn't you guys love to see it on all fours? Because I totally would. First thing I'm gonna do is hang these lovely custom coilovers. Rear springs are, I think, 1,000 pounds. These are crazy stiff. I will at some point be changing these shocks and struts, but not for now. All right, now I've gotten both the front and the rear suspension fully bolted up. And my original plan was, I've got a stack of race wheels over here that I was gonna throw on the car, but I thought, why don't I throw the wheels from my gray car on and see if they fit? Because if these fit at 15 by 9 and 11, these rears are 340s. Look at that giant meaty wheel. If these things fit, then anything will fit on here, and it will certainly loosen my ability to use wheels for SEMA. Like if I have to, I can always use these things just to get the thing rolling. So I've got my quick jack under the car. Thank you to Quick Jack for sending me really cool jacks. And I'm gonna pull the wheels off and just see if this thing works. That's fair. Kind of makes sense. That's fair. Yeah, the 17 to be. Wow! Standing around doing nothing. Get in there, Lewis. I can actually say it, and it's real. Oh, baby. There's a lot of room it can move back, but I think the hub is kind of maxed out. So the fronts look really good. The rears we couldn't get a really great gauge on because I didn't have the rotor on, and we couldn't properly space the hub to get the wheel where it would normally sit. So we're gonna flip it over to the other side with a rotor and see how it looks. Unlike Bull, bro. I know it. All right, now full stop. They do look pretty badass on there. However, these will not be the rims on this car. Nor will these, but these will be the rims on this car right now that I know will fit, and I can bolt them on and get the thing onto the ground. So we're gonna try that. And now we have enough information from mounting these to know what I need to do to make a set of custom wheels. Okay, so I just had one more idea on configuration. We're gonna take the front wheels, which are 275s on the gray car. We're gonna put them in the back of this car. And then we're gonna take the 275s, which are the back of these race wheels, and put them on the front. The big difference is that there's gonna be a lot more sidewall on the poofy Michelin tires than there are on these Hoosier R6s or whatever they are. But at least it'll give me an idea of kind of what my sizing can be. I wanna say these are 7s and 8s, and then these are 9s. So I'm either between 9s and 10s or 8s and 9s on this little green car. So the good news is the wheel is not going to scrape on the spring arm. Yeah. Cool. awesome. It's a car! This is a big moment, you guys. First time on wheels. Obviously, these aren't the wheels, but they are wheels. And it steers, and it's an actual car that is technically a roller with my lovely new suspension. The front's hilarious. The front looks like it's jacked up. But they are coilovers, and I can easily fix that. I've got this bitchin' new steering wheel from 911 Howells. And look at this, you guys. It's a car. What do you think, Benny? What do you think, bud? It's a car. It goes on wheels. My actual wheels are going to be bigger than these, and they are going to be very, very cool. But monumental. That's all I can say. Monu-freaking-mental. Dudes. Progress. Car is on the ground under its own weight, under the suspension that I just refurbished. That feels pretty damn good. Just wanted to see it all work. Wanted to see the steering rack that I installed work. Wanted to see all the suspension components. They all look great. They all function really well. I'm totally stoked. Now then, next item up for bid, I think, is going to be wiring. Some chassis wiring. Then I've got to get the engine in and start figuring out the hull tech and all of that kind of stuff. But we're making some good progress, you guys. I'm feeling pretty good about it. As always, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for being here. You guys rock like a hurricane. Here I am. And that's it. I'll talk to you soon. All right, see you next episode.